This is Samuel from Scenthack, and today you could tell that I am not in my usual scent bar, with my shelves and all my fragrance oils behind me and my table. It's summertime, it's much warm outside, and I decided to take the opportunity and go out and go lose myself into the woods, which is where I am now. It's very beautiful out here. It's very hot right now. It's like 80 something degrees, but you can see that there's perfect shading under these trees, which is amazing. The amount of canopy or shelving that the trees could provide, and that reminded me when I got here, started walking in here, of something that used to be practiced back in India many years ago. And what the Indians would do is that when you reach a certain point in your life and basically you are matured, as they say, you leave everything. If you're a doctor, you just stop being a doctor and you go into the forest. You go into the forest and basically go and find yourself. And if you have kids, you are married with family, whoever you are, you just leave everything and just go into the forest. And the idea was that before you were born, when you're born, you don't even have a name, right? You don't even know who you are. You just like a little thing walking around, and then your parents come in, they give you a name, they give you clothing, they protect you, they tell you who to become, they shape you and mold you, and society and the world in general. So basically you become this person. So the idea was that after a certain point, you just leave everything, go into the forest, farther into the forest, and they could spend years. It's insane. They spend like years, and just be in the forest and just think, just sit down, think, disidentify from everything else, and just basically connect with who you truly are, who you were at first in the beginning, like the original unadulterated form, as they would say. So just walking here, I just started thinking about different things, but it's amazing. Today I felt it was time that I review this Arabian Sandalwood. Arabian Sandalwood, you could see. Let's try and get into the camera. But anyway, and I've been basically testing this oil for a while. And when I picked it up, the first thing you could tell is that it's a very thick oil. I mean, it's like an oil. The other fragrance oils are lighter, but then because they are oil based. But this one is like very thick. Even when you move the body, you can see it moves slowly and moves back. And this reminds me of years back when I was in Ghana, and I used to be part of a religious group. And the pastor or the leader, as you would call it, would get us to get oils, and then basically he will anoint our heads with oils. And this was a practice that has been, it's a religious practice. It's part of the Christian religious practice as well, where Christ, or Jesus, who became the Christ, he would anoint his disciples with oils, and then even in the past, way in the back, and in ancient times, anointing somebody's head with oil was considered as a blessing and stuff like that. So this reminded me of that. Even the color is like it's like a rich golden brownish color, for the oil. So it's like that was exactly how the oil looked like, and that reminded me so much of that. However, when I smelled it, it was because again that oil was just like, it wasn't like olive oil or anything, but it was like, because olive oil does have a little bit of a smell, but it's like cooking oil. It has this smell, and that smell was more of like an older person, like a rich, smooth kind of smell, And when I smelled this, I remember my first impression was like, oh, this is much respect to older people. This was something that an older person will wear. Like, I mean an old person. That's something that I would see my grandmother wearing, or my grandfather wearing, you know, in much respect to them. You know, it was very classy, very smooth, and it was a little bit somewhat of powdery, you know, smell. So when I picked it up, I was like, you know, this is not something that I think I'll see myself wearing um, anyway, you know. um, you know, because it was hard to figure out where I'll wear it. But then I realized this is something that I could wear personally, you know, for myself, maybe around the house, you know, around the neighborhood. I'm not going out, you know, anywhere like clubbing or at work or, you know, around, you know, different people like that. You know, it's something that I'll wear very casually, you know, and I wouldn't wear it a lot, you know, and you know, it's very thick, you know. So straight ahead, I'll tell you the application. I would be, you know that when you apply it, it even stays on your skin for a little while because it's like oil, you know. So just be careful with the application. You know, I would say though you cannot apply too much. Just a little bit will be enough. And also, an interesting thing about the sandalwood was that the Arabs, well, we know the Arabs, you know, Arab before, you know, have the Arabian tales, and they are rich in spices, and they were merchants, and you know, the camels and stuff like that. So they have always been fascinating. And the Arabian sandalwood, the sandalwood itself came from the oil came from a tree called the sandal tree, you know, and the tree had been mentioned in when you read well, I haven't read any Buddhist text, but it's been dated that in the Buddhist scriptures, Buddhist text, they have made mention to the Mali, um, the sandalwood in Mali, you know, and the point was that this particular oil, the Arabian sandalwood oil, has been dated way back, you know, because, you know, about 4,000 years ago, you know, 4,000, even way back, you know, because it's been there for a very, very, very long time, you know, because the Buddhists were around way before Christianity came through, and then um, the Islamic religion, and then other religions. So that's way, way back. So you can tell how old and dated and rich this perfume oil is, you know. And that reminded me, because anytime I put it on and I smelled it, it just took me back. You know, it was just reminded me of something exotic. You know, it's very exotic. It's nothing else around like this. You know, this is something that like need to be preserved and saved in like you know, saved somewhere, you know, because of the rich history behind this. And it's been said that in the past they would burn the wood, actually the sandal tree that sorry, the mosquitoes the mosquitoes are getting me right now. But it's been said that the wood that the sandalwood, sorry, the sandalwood or the sandal tree that this came from, generally it's a tree, so it grows, and it takes about 15 to 20 years for the oil to be formed in the roots. It's interesting. The oil itself does not form in the bark or in the leaves or anywhere. There is no fragrance in the bark or in the tree of the sandal tree, but the oil, the essential oils, is in the roots. And after 15 to 20 years after it's been developed, it takes another 70 to 80 years for that tree to be harvested. And generally what they do is, which I found was interesting, was that they would wait for the rainy days. So when it's rained, you know, when it rains, the soil is very, very moist, right? And if you come here where I'm sitting, and if it rains and you try to dig the soil, you realize that it's very moist. So what they'll do is that they'll wait, and when it rains, they will uproot the tree, and then they will harvest the sandalwood. I mean, yeah, the sandalwood fragrance oil. You know, so it's interesting. You know, it's rich in history. You know, it's very classic. A lot of people, most people have said they garden vanilla with amber, you know, from the Arabian sandalwood. You know, but to me, it's very woodsy. You know, very woodsy, there couldn't be a perfect place to review this. You know, it just reminds you of the woods. But even this woods is like more green and more fresh. But it reminds you of like an old, think of an old forest rich with history, you know, rich with history. And that's what that's. So to me, in my collection, is very unique, you know, because of the history. In the past, they've been said that the incense was burned to the so it's been said that in the past the wood, right, the sandalwood was used to burn, was being burned also for incense. And it was used in, you know, in the Buddhist culture. They use it for meditation, because the smell from the incense will, you know, calm your stress, insomnia, and help you heal and stuff like that. You know, in across all religions and various cultures, they will burn the wood for incense, for spiritual purposes. You know, so when anytime I put it on, it gives you that feeling. You know, like this is there's something about this fragrance oil, you know, that you want to lay your hands on. You know, so it's very unique in my fragrance collection. It's a very unique fragrance oil. It's the projection, I would say it does project very well in summertime, you know, with the heat, because it's a very thick, like a thick oil, you know, so it does very well in the summertime. You could get a good, you know, 5-6 hours from this perfume oil. So this is a very versatile perfume oil. It's generally unisex, you know, so men could use it, females could use it, children could use it, kids could use it, could use it at various times. But I think I would, as a word of caution, I would use it first, because it's very exotic and very foreign. I think most people that are not perfume fanatics, you know, or into fragrance oil, might find it a little bit too strong, or they might find it a little weird. You know, I don't know, for lack of a better word. So I would say, if you're not that much into perfume oil, try it first, you know, and see where will be the best time, appropriate time to use this, you know, fragrance oil. But other than that, it's a great scent, and I'm very glad to have it. You know, so definitely you could grab this Arabian Sandalwood perfume oil from Scenthack. The links are below, or you should head straight down to my website, www.scenthack.com. I will personally ship them to you as well. Make sure you subscribe below, because that's the only way you get my videos when they do come out. Take care, and until next time.